Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to explore some of the most important literary magazines and their founders. These magazines have played a significant role in shaping literary discourse and cultural movements over the years. So let's start. First we have the Review, and the founder of the Review was Daniel Defoe. It was published in 1704. The Review was one of the earliest English newspapers sharing news and opinions with the readers, and it was published thrice weekly. Next we have the Tatler, and the founder of the Tatler was Richard Steele. The Tatler was published in 1709. The Tatler was a magazine that talked about daily life, society, and culture in England. Next, we have the female Tatler, whose pseudonym was Mrs. Krakenthorpe. The founder of the female Tatler was unknown, but a specific woman wrote for the publication, and it was published in 1709 and 1710. Similar to the Tatler, the female Tatler focused on women's perspective and experiences. Author Mrs. Krakenthorpe and her successor poked fun at London's well-known citizens 3 times every week. Next journal is The Spectator, and the founder of The Spectator was Joseph Addison and Richard Steele, and it was published daily from 1711 to 1712. The Spectator was a popular magazine that discussed various topics like politics, literature, and social issues. Next literary magazine is The Examiner, and the founder of The Examiner was Leigh Hunt and John Hunt. It was a weekly paper published from 1808 to 1886. Friends, please check the publication year. I am not sure about it. Friends, The Examiner was a magazine known for criticizing the government and discussing current events. Next literary magazine is The Guardian. The Guardian was a short-lived newspaper published in London from 12 March to 1 October 1713. It was founded by Richard Steele and featured contribution from Joseph Addison, Thomas Tickell, Alexander Pope, and Ambrose Philippe. And friends, there was another The Guardian newspaper which was published in 1821 by John Edward Taylor. Our next literary magazine is The Gentleman's Magazine, and the founder of The Gentleman's Magazine was Edward Cave. And The Gentleman's Magazine was published in 1731. The Gentleman's Magazine covered a wide range of topics including literature, science, and current events. Next literary magazine is The Female Spectator, and the founder of The Female Spectator was Eliza Haywood. And The Female Spectator was published in 1744 to 1746. This magazine provided a platform for women to express their thoughts and opinions on various subjects. Next important literary magazine is the Monthly Review, and the founder of a Monthly Review was Ralph Griffiths, and it was published in 1749 to 1845. The Monthly Review was a magazine reviewing and discussing new books and literature each month. Next literary magazine is the Rambler, and the founder of the Rambler was Samuel Johnson. And the Rambler was published in 1750 to 1752. It was total 208 issues. The Rambler was series of essays written by Samuel Johnson covering topics like morality, literature and society. Next literary magazine is the Critical Review, and the founder of the Critical Review was Tobias Smollett, and it was published in 1756. The Critical Review was known for its critical analysis of literary works and cultural trends shaping literary discourse during its time. Next literary magazine is the Idler, and the founder of the Idler were Samuel Johnson and John Hawksworth, and it was published weekly from 1758 to 1760. The Idler was a series of essays published in magazine's format, covering a wide range of topics from everyday life to moral reflections. Next important magazine is The Bee. The Bee was a short-lived British literary magazine started by Oliver Goldsmith on 6 October 1759. In it, he published Citizen of the World and many of his best essays. The last edition of the magazine was published on 24 November 1759. Next literary magazine is Town and Country magazine, and the founder of a Town and Country magazine was Alexander Hamilton, and it was published in 1769. Next important magazine is the Ladies magazine. The Ladies magazine was published on 1770. The Ladies magazine provided a platform for women's interests, featuring articles on fashion, home decor, literature, poetry, fiction and women's issues. Next literary magazine is The Watchman. The founder of The Watchman was S.T. Coleridge, and it was published in 1796. It appeared every 8 days in order to avoid tax. The Watchman was a periodical focused on news and commentary on political and social issues, aiming to inform and educate its readers. Next literary magazine is the Edinburgh Review, and the founder of the Edinburgh Review were Francis Jeffrey, Sidney Smith and Henry Brougham, and it was published in 1802. The Edinburgh Review was a literary and political magazine known for its critical essays and reviews on literature, politics and culture. Next literary magazine is the Quarterly Review, and the founder of the Quarterly Review was John Murray, and it was published in 1809. The Quarterly Review was a prominent literary and political magazine publishing reviews, essays and commentary on current affairs and cultural trends. Next literary magazine is the Blackwood's magazine, and the founder of a Blackwood's magazine was William Blackwood, and it was published in 1817. Blackwood's magazine was a literary magazine publishing fiction, poetry, essays, and reviews, contributing to the development of Scottish literature. Next literary magazine is the London Magazine, and it was published in 1817. Next literary magazine is the Westminster Review, and the founder of the Westminster Review were Jeremy Bentham and James Mill, and it was published in 1824. The Westminster Review was a political and culture magazine publishing articles and essays on social reform, politics, literature, and philosophy. Next literary magazine is the Bentley's Miscellany, and the founder of the Bentley's Miscellany was Richard Bentley, and it was published in 1837. Bentley's Miscellany was a literary and cultural magazine publishing a diverse range of content, including fiction, poetry, essays, and illustrations. Next important magazine is John O. London's Weekly. John O. London's Weekly was a weekly literary magazine that was published by George Newnes Ltd. of London between 1990 and 1954. Next literary magazine is Obsidian, and the founder of the Obsidians were Barbara Smith, Cheryl Clark, and the Cherry Moraga, and it was published in 1975. Obsidian was a literary magazine focusing on literature, art, and culture from diverse perspectives, providing a platform for marginalized voices. And friends, there you have it, a glimpse into the world of important literary magazines and their founders. These publications have left an indelible mark on the literary history and continue to inspire writers and readers alike. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, happy reading. And thank you again.